Hi, it's Jan Johnson, and Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays to all of you. And I wanted to share something with you. I have a gift for you. It's funny because you think at this time of year back on your life and different things that have happened. And I remember that when I was in 7th grade, I had to do a little writing thing. And what we had to write was some kind of a story or something. And so it was around the holiday time frame. I remember we had to get up and read it, and I was scared to death. Actually, I guess I was thinking about this because of how early on I started having to be talking in front of people. And I can remember 7th grade, I was scared to death. And what I did was I took the Night Before Christmas story and I rewrote it in the verbiage coming from the perspective of a beatnik. And what made me do this back at that time, I have no idea, but I remember shaking when I went up there, but that the class really was kind of stunned and hysterical at the same time. And I remember a good part of what I wrote. The very first part of what I'm going to read to you is identical to what I wrote. But then as it got into it, what I did was I pulled up the story and tried to remember, because I don't have the original one. But you know, when you're little and you do something, you read it over and over, you can remember it, you forge it into memory. So I thought of rewriting this with the whole first section the way it was, but bringing it around to something that maybe you could relate to. But from the perspective of a beatnik, again, it's part of the original story I wrote and then one that I kind of completed for the benefit of you. So this is my little gift to you. I'm going to read it to you. I hope you have a great day today. An awesome rest of the holiday with your family. So here goes. This is the night before Christmas, but it's the eve of that big day. 'Twas the eve of that big day, and all through my pad, nothing was happening and it was driving me mad. The spare tire was tacked up to the hot shelf with care in hopes that old fat boy would fill it with air. The rug rats were snoring on their floor mats downstairs, dreaming of windfalls and putting on airs. My old lady in headscarf and me in my shades were listening to tunes and starting to fade. But out on the pavement we heard a big crash, so I leapt from the table and hid all my stash. I looked out the peephole and started to jive. I was getting the drift and feeling the vibe. The man in the moon was having a blast, glowing so bright I was almost aghast. But I squinted my peepers 'cause I may have gone kooky. What I saw in the sky was just shy of spooky. Cruising above me at 10 below zero were 8 big old dogs and their fat daddy-o hero. The squatty fat guy didn't even pause, so I knew for positive it was old Mr. Claus. Faster than bats in a belfry they flew, and the Claus man he yelled each name that he knew. Hey hippie, hey diddly, hey dappity and do. On cleanser, on Hartley, on Stoppy and Boo. Get up in the air, get fixin' to cruise. Get a move on quick, this isn't a ruse. So to the top of my tin roof, the dogs and the sled landed with a thump right over my head. The fat dad amongst them, the toys and the loot, all ready to squeeze right down the chute. I could dig it for sure, but I about flipped my lid when the fat man slid down without much of a skid. The dude had an outfit that was a blast from the past, dressed in a cotton ball that I could have harassed. But I gave him a break because he looked like a wreck, had soot up to his noggin and even covered his neck. But the loot he was hauling from my rugrats was cool. Started thinking that maybe I was the fool. He had a glint in his peepers and a smirk on his face. But this hipster's got a gig, so I'm the disgrace. Yeah, Fat Boy's example was quite the enlighten, and this eve of the big day started to brighten. He pumped up my tire and patched it real cool. He stuffed it with stuff for the family, they'll drool. He spooked me at first, but this guy's for real. He just cooled his jets and got on with his deal. So I was a-smilin' as he shot back up the chute, still fat as ever, but with a little less loot. And his dogs were all panting and freezing in the night air, but they acted all hip like they couldn't care. Barking and sneezing as they took off in the breeze seemed to leave like they got here with a great bit of ease. Now I'm dwelling on this as a possible gig. maybe I'll do it and go make it big. Depends on the bread that I'm likely to make. But for freezing that bad, I have to make cake. More power to him, this brash individual. But I think I should teach him about a plan for residual. Merry Christmas, everybody. I hope you have an awesome day. Thanks for tuning in.